Welcome back. Here we are in the next lecture, and we're going to add text to our book cover. Text is really important. I mean, there are at least 3 really important points there. You want to get your title. Well, actually, there's 2. You want to get your title and you want to get the author name on there, so it's hard to avoid text. Anyway, in preparation for adding text, what we want to do is we want to go back to our white background. It's the easiest to see text on while we're learning how to work with text, and this is a very busy background where we'll lose it. So let's go ahead to Solid Fill, and we already have white selected, and we'll say, yeah, that's just fine for the background, and we'll get rid of the Format Background panel. Okay, next step, we're going to insert a text box. Text box is the far left of the text area of the Insert menu ribbon. So go ahead and click on it, and nothing will happen, but what will happen is your cursor will be different when you pull it over the slide. And this is the text insertion cursor. You click where you want to start inserting your text. It doesn't matter where you do that because you're going to be able to move it. And you get a little box. This is a text box, and we're ready to type in it. The cursor is positioned inside, so we're going to go ahead and type the title of our book. And I like Shadow of the Night. There we go. Now, it's chosen by default a very uninteresting font, and it's way too small for this book cover. So we're going to work on fixing that. But first, I want to teach you a little bit about selection, and specifically selection of text. When we click inside this box, it moves the cursor, or where we're going to type, around within the text. We can then hit the delete key to delete text, and type it to re-add it at that point. So that's the way that you modify the text that you entered. Move your cursor around by clicking where you want to modify and use delete and insert. Now, to select text, you click your left cursor key where you want to start and you drag across. Let's say we want to select the entire thing. We continue to drag. Now notice how the dragging accelerates. Let's click outside the text box. Actually, you can click anywhere and the selection goes away. Now notice how the selection accelerates. Here it's going a character at a time, and suddenly once we select a word, it goes, oh, you want to select words? I'll do a word at a time. And it jumps ahead a word at a time. PowerPoint is pretty smart in the way that it helps you to do things. So if I wanted to select this entire line, this would be one way to do it, is to drag across it. Now if I want to unselect, just click, again, anywhere. It positions the point and it removes the selection. If I want to select a word, go ahead and double-click the word you want to select. And it will select the word, and it'll deselect the previous word. So if I want only night or only shadow, I just double-click on those words. Now, if I want to select the entire line, go ahead and triple-click. By the way, this works in all Windows applications, at least all of them that I've seen. So, triple-click to select the entire line. Now notice we're already getting text configuration options here that show up in a little mini menu. But what I prefer using is the Home window. And you go ahead and you click on Home. It's already open here, and the font area is particularly useful. Here you can first select the font that you like. I like Engravers MT. You can see it's right up on top as recently used. I also would like to change the size of this font. That's right next door. So we're going to go up to as large as we can, which is 96. Okay, and now we need to change the dimensions of the box so that the thing wraps. Oh, whoop. There we go. There. Now I've got it on multiple lines, but you know it still isn't big enough. The weird part is, okay, let's triple click to get all of the lines here. And if I go up here, the biggest that I can set is 96 for my font size. But if I type in the box here, I can go up to something like 120. And press enter. to create an even larger font. And here, once again, I have to manipulate the text box by dragging it to make it a little larger to accommodate the new text size. So here I have the size of text that I like. I have the font that I like. I can make it bold. I can make it italic. I can make it underscored. I can give it a drop shadow. I can score through it. I can do all of these things automatically with a simple mouse click. The other thing that I can do is I can change the spacing between the characters. Right now it's at normal spacing. I can go to a tighter spacing, very tight, make it looser, make it very loose, make the spacing, or I can actually select my own spacing by clicking more spacing. I can make everything uppercase and so on. So all of these selection options, here's where I can select the color of the font. And it's a standard color selector pull down. I can make it any color that I want. Let's make it a dark brown. Now, even more interesting things happen when you get into the Format menu. Notice that since we have the text box selected here, that the Format menu item is popped up on top. When you click on that, you get even more text configuration options. Now actually you get shape configuration options, and then after it you get the text configuration options. Here we can set a fill color, which we have for the text. To do this, you select the text that you want to configure. Oh, I just dragged over it. I could have triple clicked. And then I can say, okay, fill the text with this color. We already have that set. And give it an outline of bright yellow. Now that doesn't look particularly good. So remember, you always have the undo button up here. So there, I can fill the text and I can give it an outline. Up in, once again, select here and Format pops up. We go back there. And this is my favorite, is text effects. We can go in here and we can give a shadow to the text. We can have an inner shadow, an outer shadow. We can do perspective stuff like have a drop shadow like that, which I think is very effective. Let's go ahead and do that. We can just keep adding effects. I can have a reflection in the foreground and a shadow in the background. So let's go ahead and we'll add a reflection too. Let's go ahead and we'll add a glow. Now this I find really makes text pop. If you do more glow colors and you pick black, it gives it like a smoky edge, which can really make text pop. So these are all of the ways that you can configure text. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about how to edit and move around text. Before you leave, I wanted to show you a few really helpful things. This first one is a way that, let's say I've been working with this text here, which I have, and I like the effect that I've got on it. I've got a reflection and I've got a shadow, all kinds of things. What I can do is I can take the formatting from shadow here and apply it to of the night so that it all matches. And here's how you do that. I select what I want to take the formatting from. So I would double click on the word shadow to select it. Then I go to Home, which is already selected, and I pick Format Painter. Now what happens is that it's going to use the formatting of the text that is selected, and it will paint it over whatever text I select now. So I'll just go ahead and select the rest of the text. And ta-da! The text is all formatted to be the same as that first line. The next thing that I wanted to show you was an option for configuring text once again. Let's take the word of and go to Format. There's another option here to use word art. And all you have to do is roll over it to see what it's going to look like. But it gives you some interesting word options. And in the pull down, you get even more. I really like this black with a blue kind of outline. It automatically gets you to it. So you could use that if you want to format and make some fancy text really quickly. That's under word art, and it's, or format, and it's the large characters here in the middle of the word art styles. The next thing that I wanted to show you was a neat text effect. Here we're going to select this box and we're going to do text effects, and we're going to go down to 3D rotation. Now check out what this does to the text on the book cover. Here we can have a severe angle to the text. We can have it over on the left. Here's the text laying on the floor. Here it is on the ceiling, over to the right, and so on. All kinds of different perspectives. Here's some slight angles looking at the text. Some severe leaning angles and stuff like that. I can automatically just pick that off here from the 3D rotation options on the text effects. Okay, the final thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to insert the author's name, which in this case is going to be Brian Jackson. So once again, this is a review of how to insert text. We've gone through a lot of configuring text, but we only inserted text once. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to go to Insert and select Text Box. That will give me the special text box placement cursor, and I'll place it where I'd like my author name, let's say down toward the bottom, and then I'll type my name. You'll notice that it's very small. How could I reformat that text? Well, I could go back to the existing text that I have, triple click to select it, then go up to Format Painter. With Format Painter enabled, triple click on my new text. Well, it took it on double click. We'd have to do it again. Format Painter one more time. There we go. Now I got both the first and the last name. Now it's much too large, so what we would want to do is select the text and then go to the Home menu and drop its size down. Maybe 96 is now actually becoming appropriate. There we go. That looks good. And now we have the title and the author name on our book cover. I'll see you in the next lecture.